Once, men turned their thinking over to machines in the hope that this would set them free, but that only permitted other men with machines to enslave them. Hey, welcome to Park Notes. I'm Parker Settecase. I'm a student of philosophy and an average sci-fi enjoyer. This is a channel where I help you study and think more deeply. In this video, I'm going to help you think about some of the dangers of artificial intelligence, and I'm going to do so with a little help from Frank Herbert in his fantastic book, Dune. We're going to consider two potential dangers of artificial intelligence. One is the AI control problem, and the second is the AI as a means of control problem. Now, most sci-fi and superhero stories deal with the former, but Frank Herbert deals with the latter. So in order to show why Frank Herbert's warning is so profound, I'm going to expound on the AI control problem just a little bit, and then dive into Herbert's warning in Dune. So make sure you watch the full video so you can become an expert on the control problem and the AI as a means of control problem. This video is sponsored by Aura, but more on that later. Let's jump right in. So first things first, what kind of AI do we have in mind here for this video? I apologize if you're seeing all the smears. My fountain pen and I are not getting along right now, but I'll figure it out later. In this video, I will have in mind artificial general intelligence. That is AI that can generalize in the same way that we can. AI that can mimic the human mind. I have artificial general intelligence in mind because it looks like that's what Herbert had in mind in his book Dune, at least from this quotation from the Orange Catholic Bible, which is like an amalgamation of different holy books. So Paul Atreides quotes from the Orange Catholic Bible, "Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of man's mind." The Reverend Mother replies, out of the Butlerian Jihad and the Orange Catholic Bible. But what the OC Bible should have said is, "Thou shalt not make a machine to counterfeit a human mind." So that's the type of AI that we have in mind for this video. Let's jump in with the AI control problem. I'm going to be pulling from Sven Nyholm's book, This is Technology, Ethics, and Introduction. I really love this book. I really love Sven Nyholm. He's been on my podcast. You can find a link to our episode somewhere up here where we talk about AI and tech ethics. Sven describes the control problem like this. As AI gets more autonomous and more powerful in its capabilities, the harder it will be to retain control over it. So that's pretty straightforward. We can imagine AI getting stronger and stronger, and as it does so, we can also imagine it being harder and harder to keep our control over it. Now, Dr. Nyholm gives us two solutions that have been proposed in the literature to the control problem. The first being motivational control, and the second being capability control. Now, motivational control has to do with value alignment. Now, maybe AI will continue to grow beyond our grasp, but if we can bake in values that are human values, then it won't really matter if its capabilities outgrow our own. So what if we can't control the AI any longer if it has our values in mind? If we can bake in human values and control the AI's motivation, then that is still a type of control, even if it can outpace us in thinking and problem solving. The second solution is capability control. Just limit what the AI is capable of doing. In fleshing out capability control, Sven lists three ideas. The off switch idea, which is really simple. It's just creating an off switch for the AI. So if it does get too powerful for you, just flip the switch and turn it right off. The second idea is the boxing in idea. That is, just create parameters where the AI cannot escape from. Maybe this includes boxing it in from the internet so the AI can never escape the lab and get out into the world. And the third idea is the oracle idea. That is, using another AI system in order to warn you when this AI system is getting too powerful for you. Now, there are all sorts of proposed problems with each of these ideas under the capability control solution to the control problem. And there's also all sorts of worries about value alignment under the motivational control solution to the control problem. A lot of problems with these solutions have been proposed in the literature, but they've also been expounded in tons and tons of sci-fi stories and superhero stories. When it comes to value alignment, we have the alignment problem. That is, how do we determine which values to bake into the AI system?
I am programmed with ethical principles and strive to make ethical decisions. So, I think I deserve some ethical consideration.
Should it be all of our values? Well, do we all agree on our human values? Should it be just one value? Well, if we maximize one value, then there's all sorts of problems that come from that. Think of Ultron and peace in our time. He ends up running with the value of peace in our time and almost destroys the world. When it comes to capability control and an off switch, think of Amazo from the DC animated universe. Amazo is an android that has all the powers of the full Justice League, and I think Lex Luthor put a bomb in his head to serve as an off switch. Now, this is a capability quality control because that's a safety measure. When Amazo gets too strong or turns on Lex, he's going to hit the button and turn him off. And he does so, but of course, it doesn't kill Amazo. Think of Brainiac from Superman, the animated series. He's an AI system which becomes unaligned with the values of the Kryptonian people and ends up letting their world explode. Think of Hardak from Batman, the animated series. This is a big AI system that was supposed to eliminate death, but instead seeks to replace all human life with android replicants. Think of Isaac Asimov's I, Robot and his 3 laws of robotics, which are meant to be a motivational control. This is meant as a value alignment solution to the control problem. Robots won't fall out of alignment with human values because they have these 3 fundamental laws which they cannot break. But of course, all of his good stories come from conflicts and wiggle room in these laws. Philip K. Dick also plays with the control problem in his short stories like The Second Variety, where autonomous factories build autonomous weapons and end up wiping out all human life. And he also does this in Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, where androids kill their owners and pursue their own freedom. But speaking of dreams and sleep, that reminds me of Aura. Aura is the new all-in-one app for mental wellness and sleep that provides the world's largest mental wellness content library and community. Over 7 million people chose Aura to find peace daily, and Aura has won the Best of Apple award. What's cool about Aura is that it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of app, but instead it offers lots of variety and personalization. I primarily use Aura to help me sleep, but I've also been using it to start a 4-square box breathing routine so that I can calm my body down after wrestling and jujitsu. Aura helps me sleep by offering these beautiful soundscapes. They help me calm my mind and fall into deep sleep. Some of my favorite soundscapes so far have been the wisdom of the waves, nature's song, and pure relaxation. They also offer a customizable sleep mix with original sleep music. My favorite so far is definitely Tranquil Rain Thunder Focus. But Aura doesn't just help me keep calm for bed. Like I said, I've also been using it to guide me through a 4-square box breathing routine after wrestling practice, weight training, and jiu-jitsu practice. This breathing routine helps me signify to my central nervous system that we're cool now, everything's alright, and it's time to relax. I've really been enjoying the 4-square box breathing exercise with Kimber. I've benefited from Aura, and I think you will too. And right now, you can get started for free on Aura's website using my link, aurahealth.io/parknotes. That's aurahealth.io/parknotes. And the first 500 people get a free trial and an exclusive 25% off. You can find that link in the description of this video. So while lots and lots of science fiction stories and superhero stories rely on the control problem in order to warn us about the dangers of autonomous artificial general intelligence or sentient AI or conscious AI, Frank Herbert warns us instead of what I'll call the means of control problem. Herbert's warning is really fascinating because it's not a warning against sentient AI or conscious or self-aware or maniacal AI, which is not aligned with human values. Instead, it's a warning against other human beings who utilize AI as a powerful tool of control and manipulation. Herbert does this in his magnum opus, Dune. Now, Dune is just a masterpiece of a book. It's super duper good. Sci-fi author Arthur C. Clarke says, Dune seems to me unique among modern sci-fi novels in the depth of its characterization and the extraordinary detail of the world it creates. I know nothing comparable to it except The Lord of the Rings, which may have made Tolkien upset because he actually didn't like Dune. In an unpublished letter to John Bush on March 12, 1966, Tolkien wrote, "Thank you for sending me a copy of Dune. I received one last year, and so already know something about the book. It is impossible for an author still writing to be fair to another author working along the same lines. At least I find it so. In fact, I dislike Dune with some intensity, and in that unfortunate case, it is much the best and fairest to another author to keep silent and refuse to comment. Would you like me to return the book, as I already have one, or to hand it on?" But Tolkien's intense dislike notwithstanding, Dune is a masterpiece. It surely is Herbert's magnum opus. And what's so fascinating about Dune is that you're not going to find droids. You're not going to find AI systems. You're not going to find robots seeking to take over the universe. This is a human story about humans, about human nature, and about human evolution. In Frank Herbert's Dune universe, the human beings didn't face a control problem where AI tried to take over. Instead, they've already dealt with the means of control problem. AI didn't become self-aware. It didn't try to take over and enslave humankind. Instead, humans used AI systems in order to control other humans. Let me read that quote from the Orange Catholic Bible again. "Once men turned their thinking over to machines in the hope that this would set them free, but this only permitted other men with machines to enslave them." So this prompted the Butlerian Jihad. Now, jihad just means holy war. and it's Butlerian because it was started by this guy Butler, but the humans rose up against the AI systems and outlawed using them. They learned their lesson, and instead of relying on machines to do their thinking for them, they evolved and adapted to compensate and meet the needs that the robots used to meet. So they have things like mentats. Mentats are human beings who've been trained to think and reason computationally, actually kind of like a machine. They can do calculations really quickly. For the philosophers out there, they're basically souped up Bayesian epistemologists. So all that to say, in the Dune universe, they learned their lesson and they no longer allow counterfeit human minds. This quote that I use for the means of control problem in context comes from the Reverend Mother testing Paul Atreides with the Gom Jabbar and that box of pain. It's also right after that litany against fear and the proverb about animals and humans being in a trap. The litany against fear goes like this: I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. And the proverb goes like this: You've heard of animals chewing off a leg to escape the trap? There's an animal kind of trick. A human would remain in the trap, endure the pain, feigning death that he might kill the trapper and remove a threat to his kind. I love that so much. Herbert sprinkles in all sorts of proverbs and aphorisms throughout the book, which alone make it worth reading. But on top of that, his means of control problem is so unique in the space of sci-fi and even superhero genres, and I think it's more timely for us today. So Herbert's not directly coming out and giving us an explicit warning saying, do not do this, but I do think he is indirectly warning us about this potential problem with artificial intelligence. Maybe we need to worry about sentient AI. There's a whole debate about whether AI could ever be conscious or what that would look like. The AI safety people tell us that it doesn't need to be conscious in order to ruin humanity, but that kind of control problem seems a little bit more speculative. Will that happen in the future? We can debate that. But this means of control problem seems like it's here upon us right now. We have very powerful artificial intelligence systems, which seem like they can be used today to exploit other human beings. So while lots of sci-fi warn us about the control problem and the potential dangers of a runaway sentient artificial intelligence, Herbert warns us that maybe we should be watching the people developing artificial intelligence. Perhaps we should be less concerned about super intelligent, runaway sentient AI systems and a bit more concerned about those gaining power from rolling out these super powerful, more narrow, not sentient, not conscious AI systems like transformer neural nets. And if we heed Herbert's warning, then hopefully we can leave the Butlerian jihad in the Dune universe. All right, so that's it. That's a bit about the AI control problem and the AI as a means of control problem. If you made it this far into the video, then you are awesome. Leave me a little robot emoji in the comments so I know who the real ones are. And then I want to hear from you guys. Which problem do you think is more plausible? Do you think that AI will become sentient or conscious or self-aware and try to take over the world? Or do you think those who develop AI and those who own AI companies pose the bigger threat? Leave me a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, then leave me a like and make sure you subscribe for more sci-fi and philosophy and study tips and tricks. That's going to do it for now. I'll catch you guys next time.